G'day guys, how's it going? Looks like there might be rain today, tomorrow. Some of my friends down south where there's bushfires and all that had a little bit of rain, maybe about 4 millimeters. Not a lot, still every little bit helps. And hopefully there's like enough rain for people. All my friends are in the outback and stuff like that. Anyways, dom space and how to get there. There's a new couple that came in and they're talking about, dom space. The guy asked who's dom. Is there a similar space for doms? Like you've seen lots of references to subspace. And I must say a lot of the literature that we have is very sub-centric. Yes, there is such a thing as dom space. And he asked, how do I get there? And I said, well, it's not like you can buy a ticket and go, hey, give me a one-way ticket to dom space and just go there. Because it's different for everybody, as I keep saying. Hey, Christopher. It's different for everybody. So the fact that they're actually in a long-term relationship, much older, I would assume, and I could be making an ass out of myself, that they're quite well at having conversations, quite good at having conversations, because you mentioned that they do talk about it, what they can and can't do, triggers and limits and all that sort of stuff. So it's important for those conversations to happen. Now, dom space is similar to subspace in some ways. It's a lot of people describe subspace as being all floaty and happy. Some it's sort of like, they get in and get all self-focused. For dom space and top space, because I've topped a bit, is it's different. It's the control, the power, I guess, not in a bad way. I mean, a lot of people keep saying, power is bad and evil, and keep using that in terms, but to be actually able to control the scene and mutual pleasure of somebody, or mutual pleasure in general. But it's a thrill, not unlike how people go on roller coasters in that, or seeing a job well done, or the satisfaction and all that. But that's just sort of my take on it. There's been times when I've topped somebody else, like, hey, I could do this for ages, I could do this forever, look at this is awesome. And then to have enough control at that point to know that you could do this for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, but what does the person you're playing with have in regards to support and aftercare? What does it they have to do? They have to go to work in a couple of days, or work tomorrow, or something like that. It's that part that pulls back a little bit, so you can still get into dom space, and then you pull back, go right now. Some reality's got to kick in there, How to get there? Like I said, different for everybody. Depends on what you're doing. It won't be like not just like buying a ticket and then you arrive. It's like going to successive stations or leveling up, like in gaming or RPGs or something like that. Is that you go, okay, I'm testing it out. This is good for you and me. This works, this doesn't work. How about I try this next time? Or can I try this next time? And then just bring those things into play, and getting more comfortable and knowing that that you're trying to reach a level of knowledge and intimacy with each other, So there's no real one way to get there. Depends on what you like about what it is that you're doing, and the more you do it, the more you're going to like it, the more you're going to go into the dom space. But also you've got to have enough control in that to recognise when there are warning signs, to pull back. And know that there is something that you're planning, something that you're doing. You're going to stop it at a certain point, not just keep going on forever. As much as, that could be fun, If you don't know the person very well, that could be consequences. Even if you do know the person very well, they might suffer a bad crash while you are having a bad crash, because consequently with dom space comes dom drop. Okay. Like I said to this guy, it could be anything from just feeling a little flat because you've used up a lot of brain chemicals and you're thinking about what you're doing and all the pleasure chemicals and all that, and your brain's correcting itself, or trying to replete itself. I don't know if that's really a word, repleting. Your brain chemicals have been depleted and it's trying to correct itself, so you're just going to feel flat for a little bit. All the way to real depression and emotional issues, guilt, shame of what you've done, what you thought and what you felt at that time. It can be difficult, but when you know it's everything that your sub can go through in drop, a dom can go through in drop. So when people say, oh, if there's such a thing as self-space, but there's such a thing as dom space, I'm like, well, you are people, so the space, while not exactly the same, I guess that the terms, I don't equate specifically to a dom or a sub. I just say, you get into a good headspace and you get into a bad drop. So anyway, have you topped, dommed? How do you reach subspace, dom space, that headspace? Have you actually had drop from that? Have you noticed any correlation at all between the height, the intensity of your headspace to the intensity of the drop later on? Do different headspaces have different types of drop? What sort of headspace? Was it more of a physical thing? Was it more of a mental thing? Think about those things. And how do you get there into the dom space? Okay. Anyways, I'll be going now. Hopefully the rains will get to people and it'll help control the fires a bit more that are still raging around. Hopefully people will actually do a bit more towards hazard reduction and fuel loads and just cut all the stupid tape that stops people on private properties making fire breaks. I mean, really, I would sacrifice 10 trees to save a few hundred, because that's just the way it is. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. See ya.